Chris Judd, Ben Cousins and Daniel Kerr, Gary Ablett Jr., Patrick Dangerfield and Joel Selwood, Michael Voss, Jason Ackermanis and Simon Black. They are just a few of the great midfield trios of all time. The game is often decided at the centre bounce, as it is the starting point of the game and it's where your team can get momentum. So it's no surprise that a brand new trio of midfield stars is leading their team to the top of the AFL. The scary part is, the oldest of them is just 28 and each player seems to be getting better every season they play. Isaac Heaney, Errol Goulden and Chad Warner are on track to make AFL history this season. Going back through all the All-Australian teams since 2000, there is something only a couple of AFL clubs have ever achieved. That's having 3 players from the same team, all as starting midfielders. It's nearly impossible as only 6 spots are available for the entire competition, with the ruckman, 3 on-ballers and 2 wingmen. In 2000, Carlton had Anthony Koutafidis, Brett Ratton and Scott Camporelli in the starting midfield. 2001 and 2002 had Jason Ackermanis, Michael Voss, Nigel Lappin and Simon Black all in the teams, although Voss and Lappin were not in the starting midfield but at half forward and on the interchange bench. 2005 had Ben Cousins and Chris Judd as Rover and Ruck Rover, but Dean Cox sat on the interchange bench, while in 2008 Gary Ablett Jr., Joel Corey and Jimmy Bartell were starters in the middle. But since 2008 it hasn't happened. It's 15 straight All-Australian teams without 3 players in midfield starting positions from the same club. Now part of this is because midfielders are often put at half forward and pure wingers are not always selected, but this triple threat from Sydney may be the 15-year exception. At the time of making this, all 3 are locks in the 2024 All-Australian team. Isaac Heaney is having by far his career best season, and through injury issues in their midfield has found new life on the ball while still causing havoc up forward. His 20.41 player rating is second behind Bonampelli, and his 26 disposals and 17 total goals is ridiculous. He is equal first for score involvements in the competition, averaging 6.5 clearances per game to go alongside 5 tackles. It's such a well-rounded stat line and he's been so consistent. He will be one of the favourites on Brownlow night and is currently in the pole position to win the Coaches Association Award and plays MVP. Right now, he has to be one of the 3 starting on-ballers. The 21st rated player in the AFL is Errol Goulden. His player rating is down 0.6 points compared to last season, but his impact feels equally significant. His time on ground is at 92.5% per game, and that in itself for a midfielder allows others to rest more often. His kicking is off the charts, and the Swans are using him more on a wing than last year, taking full advantage of his running ability and outside game. 7.5 score involvements and 1.2 goal assists are both career highs, and his 8 total goals is a pretty solid return. 26 disposals and 578 metres gained per match fit that roaming wing role he has. I think the All-Australian selectors will go with 2 pure wingers like last year, with Errol Goulden having to be one of the 2, most likely with Josh Dacos yet again. And the last of the trio is Chad Warner. He will no doubt be in the final 22 players selected, but can he hold down one of 2 on-ball positions? His numbers might be even better than Heaney's. 19 total goals for a midfielder is first, to go alongside 24.5 disposals, 1 goal assist and 8.2 score involvements. These numbers show how damaging he has been all season, but a few things will need to go his way. He must keep playing at this high level and probably hope others drop off. Right now he is the classic midfielder they will put at half forward or on the bench. He needs to beat Bonampelli, Merritt, Dacos, Sarong and Cripps for one of the 2 on-ball positions. That will be tough. If he can, then this Sydney trio will create a 15-year first, and and if they haven't already, signal the start of another dominant midfield. Sydney itself is set up to win it all. History paints a fantastic picture for the 10-win and 1-loss record that they have. Since 2000, they joined 20 other AFL teams to start 10-1 or 10-0. 9 or 45% have gone on to win that season's premiership. 13 or 65% at least have made the grand final, while only 2 or 10% didn't get to the preliminary final stage. So right now, it's a 2-3 shot that Sydney will be back in the 2024 grand final, just 2 seasons after their last appearance. Now, being led by that high damage midfield trio helps, and Brodie Grundy coming in as a stable ruck has flourished. He is only the 12th highest rated ruckman for qualified players, but his own clearance game and tackling has added ball winning depth. James Rowbottom brings a defensive edge, and he leads the league in tackles at 9.4 per game. Throw in James Jordan, who has now become a run-with player, either for a midfielder or running defender, and it's no wonder a guy like Luke Parker, who is out with suspension, couldn't get a game. With Callum Mills back in a month, he might have to go play in defence or on a wing, or perhaps that last on-ball spot is between him and Taylor Adams. It's a group that is fast, young, smart and experienced. The defence has played fantastic as well, being number 1 for rebound 50 rate, which is clear to see when watching them play. All of the Lizard Nick Blakey, Oliver Florent, Braden Campbell and Justin McInerney can pop out the back half with speed, and all are outstanding kicks. They play the prototype modern day game where you must score heavily off turnover, but that midfield dominance they are getting has made them the top scoring team and the stingiest defence. It's something you rarely ever see in the AFL. Now, they still have some weak points like all teams. They need Tom McCartan back, and more importantly, need him to avoid any more head knocks. He is a great fullback right now, and hopefully he doesn't follow the path of his brother. Life without Lance Franklin has been great so far. Logan McDonald and Joel Amadi have 19 goals each and have shown progression, but McDonald is just 22 and Amadi is yet to play 40 AFL games, and I think people will question them when the finals come around. However, Sydney are yet to lose to a top 8 opponent, and these key forwards are passing all the tests. And the final point comes back to the trio. 44 goals from Goulden, Warner and Heaney is 26% of all the goals Sydney have scored. It's a huge portion of goals, and no other midfield is even close. Teams will focus on the Swans in the coming weeks, and it will be interesting to see if they decide to lock down 1, if not 2 of the superstars. They are so important to the way the Swans are playing, and are right now on a historic pace, completely dominating their opposition every week.